it's Dr. Campbell, and so today I wanted to talk about what causes the school-to-prison pipeline. The perception of the school-to-prison pipeline has played the image of schools and school officials for many decades. Many school officials have worked diligently to eliminate this negative perception with minimal success. Even with an increase of minority teaching staff, schools continue to struggle with eliminating the perceptions associated with the school-to-prison pipeline. The major reason for the ineffectiveness of minority teachers is that they must follow and enforce the same rules that white teachers do. For example, one primary school rule that all teachers must respond to is a recommendation for discipline in the event of a classroom disruption. A classroom disruption is generally regarded as behavior a reasonable person would view as being likely to substantially or repeatedly interfere with the conduct of a class. Some examples of classroom disruptions that are culturally insensitive to the black student culture include loud and distracting noises, talking with others, and interrupting the instructor. Communication expectations are primary factors that contribute to the school-to-prison pipeline. You see, school officials fail to accept that blacks have different communication norms and conventions by assuming that blacks communicate using standards set by socially dominant whites. Whites' dispassionate and detached communication mode creates distrust among blacks due to its similarity to blacks who front, which occurs when blacks perceive that there is a communication risk factor and chooses to remain silent in the black-white communication encounters. This failure results in the school-to-prison pipeline due to the educator's inability to understand how the black students communicate. And so one primary question is, what are some of the black student communication tendencies that result in the school-to-prison pipeline? Black students communicate differently than their teachers. For example, blacks not only debate the idea, they also debate the person, while whites debate the idea rather than the person debating the idea. Black students move the conversation from a global perspective to a personal perspective. In this instance, the teacher is likely to become insulted, resulting in a disciplinary infraction recommendation for the student. The reason for this difference in communication expectation is a result of a lack of trust for the teacher. Blacks often probe beyond a given statement to find out where a person is coming from, to clarify the meaning and value of a particular behavior or attitude. Also, black students often interrupt the class due to acceptance of spontaneity in the black culture. Black students contrast white middle-class communication when they speak over others' voices and repeat the communication until they are responded to or until they have someone's attention. Spontaneity in conversation is an acceptable form of communication in the black community. Although others perceive interrupting speaker in conversation as rude, speaking and audience are often interchangeable, as evidenced by black students often calling out or responding to the speaker. Black communities accept the approach that their children use by interrupting others or speaking out of turn, which is an unacceptable school practice, and teachers view this behavior as disruptive and inappropriate. Anglo-Americans place a high value on allowing one person at a time to speak to indicate respect for an individual. This opposition in communication expectations is a hidden factor that not only contributes to the school-to-prison pipeline, but is also left out of the conversation when school administrators are developing and recommending student codes of conduct. Another black student communication tendency that can result in contributing to the school-to-prison pipeline is a student evaluation of their teacher. Black students use several verbal techniques to discover a teacher's strengths and weaknesses in order to evaluate a teacher's racial attitudes and locate teachers' breaking points to help the students empower themselves in the situation between them and the teacher. Hispanic students have communication tendencies that can contribute to the school-to-prison pipeline. Puerto Ricans make decisions jointly, where one person speaks and others join in and respond until the group makes a decision. Anglo-Americans value one person speaking at a time to indicate respect for the individual. While this list of communication complexities is not exhaustive, it points to the fact that without the appropriate response to black student communication tendencies, the school-to-prison pipeline will continue to accelerate. This is Dr. Campbell. You can get more information on our website at www.positiveracialrelationships.com. And of course, if you want to talk about it, you can call me on my direct line at 856-566-3267. Have a great day, and thank you very much.
Yeah, be sure to check out positiveracialrelationships.com. Check it. Look, pull your pencils out, class is in session. Let's focus on loving our neighbor without a question. Visit positiveracialrelationships.com. Leading classrooms together like a marriage bond. Kick racism out, that ain't what life's about. For more